Default judgments. Hi, this is Consumer Protection Attorney Bill Clanton. I've helped lots of people with lots of consumer related issues. In this video, I'm going to talk about default judgments. What is a default judgment? Well, in Texas, when you get sued, the lawsuit is called a petition. You file the petition with the court, and the court will issue a citation. The citation will be delivered back to you or to a process server. The process server is supposed to serve you with that petition and citation. Now, a process server can attempt to serve you at your home or wherever 3 to 5 times. After that, the process server will typically go back to the court and ask for an order for substituted service, meaning they can just leave it on your doorstep, under your doormat, attached to your door handle or your fence or wherever else. Now, there are 2 different deadlines for filing an answer in Texas, depending on where you were sued. If you were sued in JP court, you have 2 weeks, 14 days to file an answer with the court. In county courts and district courts, it's a little more complicated. Your answer is due the Monday next following the expiration date of 20 days, not counting the day you were served. So basically, you count 3 weeks from the day you were served, and you look at the calendar, and you go to the next Monday, and that is when your answer is due. If you don't answer, the other side can get a default judgment against you. Now, most courts in Texas, each court's a little bit different, but most state courts in Texas will allow a defendant to file an answer even after the deadline and won't make a plaintiff move for a default judgment or request a default judgment until they're ready to do that. Some courts want to hurry this along. Other courts are wide open. But here's the thing. If you've been sued and it's past the deadline to file an answer, you can still file an answer as long as the plaintiff has not moved for a default judgment. Plaintiffs typically allow a few days, some a few weeks, even a few months before they actually move for a default judgment. So it's probably not too late if it's just past the deadline to file an answer. Lots of courts in Texas have form answers. You can fill in the blanks and sign it. But Texas courts have said that basically if you file anything in the court that has got your name and contact information and the case number, that will serve as an answer and prevent a default judgment. Default judgments are bad for a couple of reasons. First, when you default, it means that you admit to everything in the lawsuit. It means you admit that you owe the money, that you admit that it's late. You admit sometimes that the other side is entitled to their attorney's fees. Okay. That also means that the plaintiff is entitled to a judgment in the amount of the lawsuit with the costs and attorney's fees and other things they ask for. It also means there's a judgment against you. And that judgment is a much more powerful tool than a charged off debt. A charged off debt can be used to try to send collection letters and even be the basis for a lawsuit, but a judgment is the basis to garnish your bank account or have a receiver appointed who can freeze your bank accounts. A judgment is a much more powerful tool to collect a debt from you than a charged off account. So it's important that you file an answer, because filing an answer will give you a chance to conduct discovery, to find out what information the debt collector has. And third-party debt collectors often have terrible records. A lot of them mismanage their files. They can't prove the debt. Filing an answer gives you a chance to fight back and make them prove that you owe the debt and the amount of the debt. So I hope you've gotten something out of this talk on default judgments. It's important because about 90% of these debt claim cases that get filed result in a default judgment. So 9 out of 10 people could be saving themselves from getting a judgment or getting their accounts frozen or receivers appointed, and they don't. And it's very simple to file an answer. It's very important to file an answer. If you've been served with a lawsuit and you're afraid that your time for an answer is passed, or you have questions about being sued, give us a call. We're here to help. Thanks for watching this video.